Sugar in your body, the not so sweet truth. I'm Kristen Peterson and I am a health coach. I have a certification from the American Association of Drugless Practitioners and I'm a graduate of the Institute for Integrative Nutrition. You can find me on Facebook at Common Sense Nutrition or visit my website at www.commonsensenutritionaz.com. As a health coach, I teach people how to restore balance to their health by taking the guesswork out of healthy eating. I clear the confusion, remove the fear, and inspire you to move forward with a clear understanding of what works for you. So what are we going to talk about in this super quick little video webinar here today about sugar in your body? I want to take 10 minutes to explain to you what sugar is, how it contributes to disease, where sugar hides, the importance of balancing your blood sugar to reduce those sugar cravings that keep nagging at you. I'll talk briefly for a minute about chemical sweeteners and explain to you how I fill in the gaps for myself and my family. So first, let's get started. What is sugar? Sugar is basically refined table sugar that comes from the sugar cane or the sugar beet. But basically it goes by anything with the name with OSE in it. That could be glucose, fructose, dextrose, sucrose, and my all-time favorite, high fructose corn syrup, which is so much sweeter than regular sugar. It's in so many processed foods, and it's actually very damaging to the liver. You'll find sugar in the form of anything with an OSE in the name if you read the back of the package and you look in the list of ingredients, and sometimes you may often find multiple levels of sugar in a packaged food, so you have to be aware of that. Sugar contributes to many diseases, and here is a list of some of those diseases: obesity, diabetes, cancer, Alzheimer's, arthritis, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, heart disease, and osteoporosis. And why is this? Basically, it's because sugar causes inflammation. It depletes our immune system, it puts a huge tax on our pancreas for a large output of insulin, and that abuse and damage causes inflammation. Inflammation, being the root of all disease, contributes to other diseases. I'm not talking about inflammation that you can feel. I'm talking about inflammation that is below the threshold of pain. So you may not feel things like cancer coming on, or you may not feel diabetes, but it is there, and it is an underlying inflammation that if left untreated, if left unobserved, it will exacerbate and lead to disease. But if you're thinking that you never eat sugar so you don't have to worry, I challenge you to think again and take a look at this list of foods and look in your own pantry, fridge, and freezer at home. Pay attention to the way you grocery shop. Are you buying, are you eating these foods? We drink a lot of sugar in our sports drinks and soda, and even in fruit juice. Potato chips, even if it's potato chips that are like, you know, salt and vinegar flavor or salt and pepper flavor, those chips that you think are plain often have sugar in them to kind of amplify that salty taste, actually. Obviously baked goods, but sugar hides in things like jarred spaghetti sauce and canned tomatoes as well, and it can even hide in the form of high fructose corn syrup, which is also very prevalent in ketchup and also bread. It's commonly found in things like bottled salad dressings and marinades, and those little packets of spice blends that make life so easy are usually loaded with sugar, and not only that, but a host of other chemical flavors as well to make them taste even more appealing. It's always best to make your own spice blends at home. Peanut butter is another commonly hidden area for sugar, in particular high fructose corn syrup in there. And some of my all-time favorites are like cereal bars and breakfast cereal and packaged oatmeals that they label these things and package these things to look so healthy, but they are hiding lots and lots of sugars in here and multiple different types of sugar. These are common areas where you will find several layers of sugar in these packaged items. We all know that we battle with sugar cravings from time to time, and I will be the first to admit that willpower is only going to get you so far. Just telling yourself to ignore those sugar cravings is only going to work for so long. Your best defense is to understand where they're coming from and learn how to avoid them in the first place. And this list of ideas is a great starting point to help you eliminate those sugar cravings and reduce them so that those cravings that hit you at certain times of the day, usually late at night, don't end up hitting. Caffeine can cause spikes in our energy levels, which can also then cause sugar cravings. Dehydration alone can come across as a craving for sugar. Oftentimes, have a glass or two of water, and that will curb your sugar craving. And eating sweet vegetables and fruits, fruit especially if you're craving something immediately sugary will help with the sugar craving, but eating sweet vegetables with your meals satisfies that need for sugar later on. Getting physically active, so we're releasing all those happy endorphins, and we tend to just not want as much sweet stuff when we're exercising or have had exercise. If we have a lack of sleep, rest, or relaxation, this will cause sugar cravings because we're tired and we know that we can naturally reach for sugar to help perk us back up. Limiting the amount of animal foods is a good one. This is that yin-yang thing. It's kind of that I want something sweet, I want something salty. And then when people eat a diet that is completely fat-free or low fat, if we're eliminating something entirely out of the diet, or it could be, no carbs kind of thing, that can lead to sugar cravings. So I'm not a fan of the eliminate one entire category diets. And eating whole grains in their whole grain form is one of my #1 most favorite ways to recommend that people reduce or eliminate sugar cravings. And when I talk about whole grains, I mean whole grains in their whole grain form, an unbroken grain, brown rice, quinoa. These things are very balancing to our blood sugar, therefore they keep the blood sugar balanced and stable and eliminate the peaks and valleys which cause sugar cravings. So keeping the blood sugar balanced is really the key. And therefore, if we eat a well-balanced diet that focuses on micronutrition, this will also help greatly. And getting that in the form of vegetables and fruits that are also high in fiber are also very balancing to the blood sugar. Oftentimes cravings come from just a lack of nutrients in the diet, so filling in those gaps and making sure that we're getting a balanced diet is a huge factor in keeping the blood sugar balanced and eliminating cravings. Some of the foods that help to balance blood sugar, as I mentioned, are whole grains in their whole grain form. And I want to stress, I'm not talking about breads, whole tortillas, or any of that stuff. I'm talking about the actual grain. And getting fiber from whole foods, and apples and spinach are great examples of foods that are high in fiber, fruits and vegetables high in fiber. And eating nuts and seeds, vegetables, fruits, and beans as a normal part of your healthy diet is very, very balancing to the blood sugar. Very briefly, I'd like to mention chemical sweeteners, because when I talk about reducing sugar, I am in no way, shape, or form trying to hint that you may want to substitute that with chemical sweetener. Chemical sweeteners are nothing more than a toxic combination of chemicals that exist just for the purpose of making our foods taste sweeter without the use of calories. So, but the danger of this is that these are linked to over 90 toxic side effects, including neurologic disorders and depression. We find these chemical sweeteners in the obvious form in those blue and pink and yellow packets that we find in the restaurant tables, and we put them in our iced tea and our coffee when we're eating in restaurants. But they also go by a host of chemical names that is so long I can't even fit it all on this page. But commonly you will find them called sucralose, aspartame, and acetylcholine. In my book, this is a deal breaker. I never eat chemical sweeteners. I would really rather see you get that sweetness from natural sources. In my words to live by, if Mother Nature didn't provide it, then you should avoid it. Let Mother Nature provide the sugar. Let Mother Nature provide that sweetness for you. Even things like, maple syrup and honey are wonderful natural sweeteners that you can use in small amounts to sweeten foods if you need a little bit of natural sugar. As I said, sometimes those cravings for sugar can come from the fact that you have gaps in your diet. And for myself and my family, we use Juice Plus, and we have found that this actually helps us not only fill in the nutritional gaps in our diet, but it greatly helps us with our sugar cravings because we don't have the gaps. We are getting all of the nutrients that we need. Juice Plus is whole food in a capsule form. There is nothing like this out there available on the market. This is grown by nature. It is not produced in a lab. By taking the Orchard and Garden blends, My family and I are each getting 17 servings every day of fruits and vegetables. And because this is stuff that is grown by nature, this is the actual food that is produced, grown, captured at the peak of ripeness, ground down, and all of the sugars and the liquid are removed from this. So all you get is that fruit fiber and fruit pulp. Your body is actually absorbing this, and there is clinical research proving that the body is absorbing this. No other supplement on the market can say that. So for me, that was huge to know that I'm not wasting my money on a product that I am flushing down the toilet. And for myself and my husband, we pay for an order, and our children also get this product for free, which brings that down to less than $1.50 per day per person for each of us to be getting 17 servings of vegetables and fruits every day. I think that's exciting to know that there's something out there that I can take to make it easier for us, not only to eliminate sugar cravings, but to just fill in all those gaps in our nutrition, in our diet, because no matter how hard we try, all of us have gaps. I'd like to thank you very much for listening and offer you the opportunity to please peruse my website at www.commonsensenutritionaz.com. And as always, as a health coach, I always offer a free consultation if you are ever in the need to consider using my services for anything. I have lots of different programs and things that I offer, and I would love for you to check that out. I appreciate you listening, and thank you so much.